What has been the best hire this offseason for Oklahoma football? We're going to discuss that coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there tuning in. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Also, go drop a review wherever you get your podcast, whether it's Apple or Spotify. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review if you're enjoying the show. If you're one of the everydayers out there, just helps other people find out about the show. So, Jay, the Oklahoma Sooners made some big-time hires this offseason, both in the front office and to the coaching staff. So let's start here, Jay. What do you consider to be the most significant hire for Oklahoma this offseason?
And it's funny you asked that question. We talked about it, going into this. We kind of made 5. If you really think about it, new OC, new quarterback coach, new linebacker coaches, which leads to your head coach becoming your DC again, and then a new general manager to prepare ourselves for the new era of college football civilization. So for Oklahoma, I want to rank them. I want to rank the significance of those 5 hires. Like I'm not going to I don't think we should do the front office staff because we don't know them fully yet, what they're really going to do, the details, etc. But we know who's in charge of them. And then the other coaches that did come in, think that it makes more sense to really look at them. So if I'm going to rank them, John, here's the parameter that I looked at. Impact on the field, impact in recruiting, and do they make life easier for Brent Venables? So it's tough. I do think that Nagy's probably number 1 on the list. This is why. As we've praised about him from the beginning, he comes in and allows for Brent Venables to just do his job. But he also helps everybody else on the staff by being able to help find and evaluate talent quickly and establish the targets that make the most sense. That way we're not spinning our wheels again on players that we would really love to have, but we find out they're chasing bags. There's actually one kid that just canceled his visit to LSU, and he's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's not a common thing, folks. That means a bag was involved in that situation, because you don't see kids get out of Louisiana that are 5 stars because it's like the voodoo thing that they do down there. They keep them kids intact. They always wear the school colors. I think every school in Louisiana feels like, I know it's not true, I'm just saying this as a joke, but they all wear the same, all LSU colors. It's just a thing. They bring them in. That's the job. But I think Nagy's probably number 1. I think, and this is kind of weird to say, I think Kuceyeski's number 2, right? But then Arbuckle's 3rd. Only because that QB coach is critical. Yeah, I think Kuceyeski's big. I've heard some great things about dude. Now Arbuckle's calling the plays and everything, but the development of the quarterback, man, it sounds like he's that dude. Then I'm gonna go with I'd go with Goodwin, and then Dreiling is last. Even though Dreiling is the one that's really out there recruiting like crazy. I'm trying to figure out Kuceyeski and Arbuckle. What you got?
Right, so, I would go Arbuckle crazy. 1. Like, to me, it's Arbuckle 1. Because you get Arbuckle, you get Mateer. And you don't get Arbuckle, you may not get Mateer. And it gives you a direct direction and identity on offense, which you didn't have in 2024.
That's a good point.
One of my guys, Aaron Gelvin over at Sooners Wire, wrote a piece this weekend and just reminded me of the mashup that Seth Luttrell tried to do between his offensive scheme and Jeff Lebby's scheme, where he tried to just blend it all together to try and make it fit for Jackson Arnold. And I'm like, you got to have more clarity and more direction with your offense. And there was none in 2024. It was terrible. Injuries aside, there was no identity, no direction. Well, Ben Arbuckle gives you an identity. He gives you a direction, and he gives Brent Venables the freedom to just leave the offensive alone. the offense can go do its thing. Brent Venables can do his thing on defense, and you don't have to worry about it. He's got a well-established star in the making in Ben Arbuckle at offensive coordinator with a quarterback in tow as well. So to me, he's number one. I'd put Nagy at number two, and that's a short-term, long-term view of it too, because I do think he's going to have a significant impact. He's already having a significant impact. I don't know if you get Jay Knott unless you have Jim Nagy.
That's a very good point, and that's kind of where I was going with the Nagy to me at the top spot.
Like, it makes sense to put him at number one. I can't get past Arbuckle Mateer, the combo there at number one. Like, you needed a big move. You needed a big splash. And I think Arbuckle also helps with the development of Michael Hawkins. You've talked about that as well on this show. You think he's going to be a direct beneficiary of that. So to me, Arbuckle 1, Nagy 2, Kuceyeski's right there at number 3. Because again, quarterback development, quarterback recruiting, huge. You got to have it. You got to create depth. You got to create talent that's developed so that not just 2024 or 2025 is set up, but you're set up for 2026, 2027 as well. You're looking long term. And fingers crossed, if Ben Arbuckle does, or maybe not fingers crossed, but if Ben Arbuckle does go get a head coaching job sometime in the near future, maybe you've got John Kuceyeski lined up to be the offensive coordinator at some point.
Yeah, that is true, because he does know the system. Maybe, right? Maybe. There's a maybe there,
because he could end up being what Ryan Grubb is to Kalen DeBoer, and just somebody that just follows Arbuckle around until he's ready to get his own gig. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I can totally see that. He could be the one that just develops the quarterbacks for Arbuckle no matter where he ends up. So I can see Kuceyeski following. So you've sold me. I think I flipped mine. I'm gonna go Nagy still at number 1. I think Jim is that, and I think Arbuckle. But I think him and Kuceyeski they're kind of a package deal in my opinion too.
Yeah,
it feels like right.
Yeah.
Right, fair. And it's nothing against our defensive guys that came in. I think Goodwin and Dreiling are going to be massively impactful, especially on the recruiting trail. I mean, heck, besides, Marcus James, Jacoby Smith was like the first linebacker commit we've had since Marcus James. So we actually got a linebacker coach that can recruit, which is pretty important.
And he's got several other guys, irons in the fire at linebacker that look really, really impressive from a potential front. So I'll go with Dreiling at 4, and then I'm going to go with a different analyst at 5 instead of Wes Goodwin. Wes Goodwin's going to be huge. It's going to be important, but I'm going to go with Kevin Wilson. Bringing the former offensive coordinator back from Tulsa, allowing him to work with your offensive line, helping getting Bill Bedenbaugh a little help. Not that he needs it, but anything that you can do to kind of turn over what was, again, a stinko offensive line in 2024. Like, again, you had to throw assets at it to make sure that you didn't have a repeat of last year. You got to get all these guys developed and good to go. And I think Bill Bedenbaugh, Kevin Wilson, because let's not sleep on Kevin Wilson, man. He was fantastic when he was an assistant for Oklahoma in the 2000 to 2010 years. Like, that dude was great. So bringing him back, making him a part of the offensive staff, it gives you another experienced guy who can coach tight ends.
True.
So not only is he helping Bill Bedenbaugh, but he can help Joe John Finley with development as well. So I think it's huge across the board. So give me Kevin Wilson at the number 5 spot.
Yeah, and that's a good one. I didn't think about him as an analyst being that dude. I got to give it to you. That's a solid one, because he also helps Ben Arbuckle being able to run the offense, honestly, independently of Brent Venables. And that's someone that we know BV trusts.
Yep. Like,
that's the kind of the most important thing when it comes to how BV does things is you got to build the trust. Now, he brought Ben in to be the OC and he gave him free reign. We've seen that. This is Ben's offense, but not having head coaching experience and time management is the most important thing. I do like the fact that you pointed out with Kevin Wilson, him being able to be there, not only help Bill Bedenbaugh, but even help quarterback development. I mean, we've seen Sam Bradford come at the campus. We ain't seen that in the past. Sam loved Kevin Wilson. So, hey, that now is a good conversation piece, even as you start talking to quarterback recruits. This guy made a 3-star that no one really knew about into a Heisman Trophy winner.
And the number 1 overall pick, and helped coordinate the most prolific offense we'd ever seen in college football up until, Joe Burrow in 2019 LSU. But
yeah,
that's besides the point. Anyway, just a lot of really good hires this offseason, and it's just further indicative of Oklahoma's desire to just be all in to make sure that they rebound from a disastrous 2024 season. Hey, it's been a great Father's Day weekend. I know Jay had a great day. I had a great day with our fam as well, but we hope y'all had a great day. We're going to talk a little bit about that coming up next here on Locked On Sooners. And who are Oklahoma's sons? There's quite a few out there. We'll discuss coming up next on Locked On Sooners.